Hello everybody, Connor here, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming Retrospective. Today we're going to be talking about the best Mario Kart game made for the GameCube, Mario Kart Double Dash. Double Dash was released in November 2003 and is the fourth game available in the Mario Kart series, releasing a few years after Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. The game was first showcased at E3 in 2001 as Mario Kart for the Nintendo GameCube. They used Super Smash Bros. Melee models and go-karts since they didn't have actual models made for the game yet. It was more so just to showcase what a Mario Kart could look like for the GameCube. In development, the team was throwing around a bunch of ideas for the game. Their main focus was to make Mario Kart as accessible as possible to new players. One idea thrown around was connectivity to the Game Boy Advance. This ended up being scrapped from the final game. I'm glad they didn't follow up with this idea because of how atrocious Super Circuit was. Mario Kart Super Circuit was the first Mario Kart game my brother and I had. I just remember struggling to play it on the tiny Game Boy Advance screen and not really enjoying it, but I'll save my experience with that for another day. In April of 2003, Nintendo released the first screenshots of the game and finally revealed that the title of this game would be Mario Kart Double Dash. The gimmick behind Double Dash is that you race with two characters. One handles the driving and the other throws items. A demo of this game was playable at E3 2003, and players were able to experience what Mario Kart was like with two players at the wheel. There was also a special bonus disc that came with the game if you pre-ordered from select stores. The disc came with playable demos for some of the new titles for the console like F-Zero GX, Mario Party 5, Sonic Heroes, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It also came with trailers for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, 1080 Degrees Avalanche, Pokemon Colosseum, Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, NBA Live 2004, and Kirby Air Ride, which was also a promo for the Kirby Right Back At Ya TV series. And if you owned a copy of Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade for Game Boy Advance and had a link cable, you could download additional content to the game. Unfortunately, I had none of those, so I pretty much just used the disc to watch the trailer for NBA Live 2004 over and over. You also get the manual, which has incredible artwork. It showcases all the characters and karts in the game and gives a lot of information about the different modes. You also get a little pamphlet that advertises Nintendo Power. It says you'll receive a Mario Kart Double Dash Player's Guide if you subscribe. It also came with another pamphlet that advertises Nintendo.com and a Logitech wheel. There's also a code on the back that I tried registering, but I have a feeling the website's been down for at least a decade now. And the only other thing that came with the game is the game disc, so let's pop this bad boy into the GameCube and get started. Mario Kart Double Dash is one of, if not the best Mario Kart games Nintendo has ever made. The controls work perfectly on the GameCube controller and the drifting in this game is perfect. One thing Double Dash did was add a ton of new characters, and it makes sense. There needs to be double the characters since you race with two. You have your classics like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Bowser, but Double Dash adds essential characters like Daisy, Birdo, Baby Mario and Luigi, Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr., Waluigi, King Boo, and Petey Piranha. They also added a brand new character who made her debut in this game, Toadette. I'm assuming Toadette was made so Toad had a partner that matched him since every character had someone pretty similar to them. Oh, and they also added these guys. Double Dash doubled the roster, and it isn't where they stopped. They gave each pairing their own exclusive items. Mario and Luigi get fireballs, which work similarly to the shells but can take out multiple players at once. Peach and Daisy get hearts, which make any item that hits them theirs to use. Yoshi and Birdo get eggs that work like red shells but drop 3 items when it hits an opponent. Baby Mario and Luigi get the Chain Chomp, which pulls them ahead at a high speed. Toad and Toadette get the Golden Mushroom, which lets you get an unlimited boost for a short amount of time. Koopa and Paratroopa get triple green shells and triple red shells, which are just red and green shells but times 3. DK and Diddy get giant bananas, which take up a lot of space and let out 3 bananas when hit. Bowser and Bowser Jr. get Bowser's Shell, which is one of the scariest items in the game because it's a green shell but it's 20 times bigger. And finally, Wario and Waluigi get the Bob-ombs. Petey and King Boo get a random chance of any of these items for their special item. I really like this aspect of the game. Still, I think the downside is that some items that were originally accessible to everyone are now locked behind certain characters, like the golden mushrooms and the triple shells. This game also gives incentive to people playing the Grand Prix. There's a bunch of unlockable carts, modes, and even characters you can get by playing through the cups. You start out with 50cc, 100cc, and 150cc. You get the Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup, and the Star Cup, and getting first place in the cups unlock more carts, but some special scenarios unlock other things. You unlock the Special Cup by getting first place in the Star Cup on 100cc, and if you get first on the Special Cup in 100cc, you unlock Toad and Toadette. For 150cc, getting first place in the Special Cup unlocks the All Cup Tour, which is playing through all of the courses in the game at once. Getting first on that at 150cc unlocks Mirror Mode, which mirrors all of the courses. Getting first place in Mirror Mode in the Star Cup unlocks Petey and King Boo. And lastly, getting first place on everything unlocks an alternate opening and credits. I'm a big fan of unlockables in games, and Mario Kart Double Dash does it right, and makes the game so much more fun and always keeps me coming back. Another thing that keeps me coming back is the multiplayer experience. You can team up with a friend and play through the Grand Prix, and one of you can drive while the other throws items and controls the drift boost. This is also the first game in the series that allows you to carry two items at the same time. Each character is able to hold an item, so you can grab one and switch characters to grab another. It also lets you hold on to items as long as you'd like. There are also double item boxes that instantly give you two items. The increased amount of items in this game make the game a lot more chaotic. It makes for pretty great fun when playing with friends, but makes playing through the Grand Prix a pain. The battle mode in this game is also amazing. You get your traditional balloon battle like the previous games, but it also introduces new game modes like Shine Thief, where each team captures a shine and has to maintain possession of it for an extended amount of time. There's also Bob-omb Blast, where you throw bob-ombs at each other to score points. You're able to play with 4 players on one GameCube, but if you have the Nintendo GameCube broadband adapter, you can play up to 8 consoles connected for a total of 16 players, with 2 for each cart. Now let's talk about the courses. There's a total of 16 in this game across 4 cups. The Mushroom Cup starts out with Luigi's Circuit, which is your basic Mario Kart track. The one thing that sets it apart is that the course joins in the middle and you can face other racers. The next course is Peach Beach, and it's one of my favorite tracks in the game. It takes place on Isle Delfino from the Sunshine games, and it's overall a solid track. The third course in the cup is Baby Park, which is another iconic course. It's a small loop that takes 7 laps to complete. Since it's a small loop, it's hard to get ahead, and there's always a ton of items everywhere. I'm a huge fan of this course. The last course of this cup is Dry Desert. This course is your standard Mario Kart desert course. The tornadoes are fun, but can be a little bit frustrating sometimes if you get stuck in them. But I could get over that. It serves as a good final track for the cup. To start out the Flower Cup, you have another one of my favorite tracks in the game, Mushroom Bridge. The music in this course is amazing, the cars can be a bit annoying, but the track is still a lot of fun. Mario Circuit is next, and it's just another classic Mario Circuit. It has piranhas, pipes, and chain chomps. It's definitely one of the more enjoyable Mario Circuits in the series, but my least favorite circuit in this game. One of my favorite courses in this game is Daisy Cruiser. It takes place on Daisy's boat, you go through the dining area and the tables move. What more could you ask for? Waluigi Stadium's also a very solid track. I'm a huge fan of all of the hills and obstacles in this one. It always makes for an entertaining race. Now let's move on to the Star Cup. The first course is also another favorite of mine, Sherbert Land. It's fun sliding on the ice and trying to dodge getting frozen by the freezies. The next course is Mushroom City, and I'm not much of a fan of this one. There's a lot of alternate paths, which is cool, but I hate the cars purposely wait for you to drive by so that they can run right in front of you. To make up for it, they give you Yoshi Circuit, which is easily the best circuit track in this game. It's shaped like Yoshi, and since I'm a huge Yoshi fan, I can't help but love this track. To round out the Star Cup is DK Mountain. This course is okay, it has some sharp turns, but it's overall pretty solid. Once you unlock the special cup, you get to Wario Coliseum, which is such a long track, and they know it's long, so they only make you take 2 laps around. Dino Dino Jungle is the next course, and it's solid. You're in a jungle, and there's dinos. Up next is Bowser's Castle, and it's one of the hidden gems of this game. It's never been remade, but it's really solid, but forgotten about. Another forgotten track that needs to be forgotten about is Rainbow Road. I'm not a fan of this one. I think it's the worst Rainbow Road in the series. It's just forgettable and it's just not good. The battle mode also has some solid courses. You start out with Cookie Land, Block City, Pipe Plaza, and the thing you're playing the game on. My favorite is Cookie Land, and it's everything I could ask for in a battle map. Winning the Mushroom Cup on 150cc unlocks Luigi's Mansion, which is cool. And winning the Mirror Flower Cup gets you Tilt-A-Kart. One thing I've noticed about Double Dash is that it's probably the hardest Mario Kart to 100%. There's just so much to unlock, and the addition of 2 players makes it a bit more difficult. The single player mode can get a little chaotic too, so I could understand how it could be frustrating for some. Personally, I enjoy this game a lot. It feels like the game is aging like fine wine compared to the other Mario Kart games, so I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. Some might not be a fan of having 2 characters to a kart and the difficulty that it brings, but I feel like it keeps people coming back. It's such a unique gimmick, and I wish Nintendo would bring it back for a future game.